Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Fallon and today I'm going to be working on the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. This is the So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt and I'm going to be working on the small apple cider and then the large churro. So we're going to start with the small apple cider and we are on clue 3 right now, and you can see I have a lot of my pieces already organized and ready to go. So this is my paper that lets me know what all the fabrics are labeled so I know what I'm sewing together. And when I look at my instructions in step 1, it shows that I'm going to be sewing a fabric C triangle to a fabric F triangle. And then in step 3, I'm going to be joining a F square to an A triangle. Then in step 4, I'm going to be sewing a square C to a triangle A. And then later we're going to be adding another A triangle on top to complete this shape. But we're going to sew first this one on so that we can press it before adding the next one on. All right, and then we'll be joining a lot of those together, but just so that when I sit down to sew I can be the most effective, I looked all the way over in the next section for our other block, because we're making a block 3A and a block 3B. So for block 3B, I'm going to be sewing a D square to a B rectangle, and then an F square to an A rectangle. And then we're also going to be sewing an F square to an A square. And we're making 2 of all of these. So doing it this way, looking and seeing what all I can sew when I sit down, makes me a lot more effective when putting these together. Now, if you're more comfortable doing one at a time, definitely do that. I've been sewing for a long time, so for me, I can lay these out and keep organized, but we all know seam ripping is not any fun. So if you want to avoid seam ripping and all that, you can go slower. So I'm going to take these over and sew them together. Okay, now I'm going to follow the pressing suggestions for all of the pieces I sewed. All right, so here are my 2 blocks for the So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt Small. This is Clue 3 in the apple cider colorway. So I have these 2 long blocks that are labeled 3B and the 2 smaller blocks that are labeled 3A. I'm really loving this colorway, and if you're interested in seeing how the Churro large looks, just keep on watching. All right, so now we are going to work on the Churro colorway for the So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt. And I just love the way this fabric line looks. This is the Bookish Art Gallery fabrics, and it is gorgeous. So you all know when I work through this large quilt, just like with the small, I'm going to kind of sew a lot of the steps all at once if they can be. So here are the two kind of blocks that we are making. So we're making 3A here and 3B. And I believe 3A, let me grab. So 3A is kind of the same as with the small colorway, or the small quilt, and then the 3B is different. So the first steps are going to be kind of what you saw me do before, and then a little bit different for the 3B here. So you can see I have a lot of items already laid out. I have some of my fabric E in the larger triangle set to the side because I won't be sewing with that yet. It's kind of going to be used in a later step. But for section 3A, for step 1, we're going to be sewing a C and an F together, and then later we're going to be attaching on the fabric A triangle to the top. So I'm going to set that to the side. So these are going to be sewn together. We're making 2 of them for step 1. And then we have an F square, and we're attaching an A square onto it on this side. So that is step 3. And down at step 4, we have a square C that we're going to attach a triangle A onto a small one, onto one side. And then later, after we press that, we're going to be attaching another triangle on. And then for our 3B blocks, we're going to be sewing together a 4 square. But for first, on step 1, we're going to be sewing a C and an F square together, and then an F square and an E square. And then later we'll sew all of those squares together. And then a larger A triangle and a larger C triangle, we're going to be sewing those together as well. So we're going to be sewing 8 of these, 8 of these, and the rest are 2. All right, so I'm going to get to sewing these, then I'll press them. And once I get the segments put together, I'll show you what the next steps are. All right, so here are the finished blocks from the Churro So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt. They are so cute. I really love this fabric line. So there are 2 of the smaller one and 4 of the larger block. And I really love how they turned out. I really think they are so cute, and I love this fabric line. So it just makes it even better. I can't wait to see how this all comes together. Now for the apple cider, here are the blocks just as a reminder. This first one looks exactly the same, just aside from the different fabric, as the churro large. And the small second block is different though. It's longer and there's only 2 of them instead of 4. So that's kind of the difference this month between the large and the small for the puzzle mystery quilt for month 3. So I really think it's interesting seeing the difference between the 2. What do you think? I'm so glad I decided to do 2 different ones. All right, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.